I've been thinking about the good times. I've been sleeping through the long nights. I've been shining in the sunlight. I've been thinking how I'm alright. There's a reason for my feelings. There's a reason why I'm healing. Yeah, I feel higher than the ceiling. All because of you. You and I were so sweet, so sweet. Talking till we asleep, asleep. Every night I fall deep, but love, yeah. Cause you really get me, make me fall to my knees, my knees. Every night I fall deep, but love, yeah. Wait a minute, don't you leave me before I get to kiss ya. Wait a minute, I don't wanna be without you. Yeah, wait a minute, I can let you go before I kiss ya. Wait a minute, I just need a minute or two. I should catch up on my reading. I should catch up on my eating, yeah. But it's hard to keep a thought straight with you all up in my face. Try to get you out my mind, but why should I when you...
Hi friends, me again. November the 5th, and if you're in the UK, I hope you had a good bonfire night. I remember those days from when I was a kid. When I was growing up, my primary school years, we had a house that backed onto some wasteland, and we had little bonfires right on the edge of that wasteland. So we lived in this row of 10 houses that were all semi-detached, and they were all full of families. We all went to the same school because it was the nearest school. And so we had joint bonfires. And of course, those were the days when you could buy fireworks. Well, the grown-ups bought them. The kids may have bought them sometimes too. I don't think I ever bought fireworks. But in those days, you could have private fireworks parties, which is something I don't think you can do now. It's all got to be organised and official, which is understandable because there were some pretty horrific accidents back in the day. So, of course, here in Canada, we don't have bonfire night. We have Halloween on the 31st of October and nothing on the 5th, because, of course, it's very much a British thing. And we do occasionally have fireworks displays, but unfortunately, not so much on Canada Day now, because, of course, it lands right in the summer. And in the summer, we have campfire bans. We have a very high forest fire risk, and they quite often cancel them because it just doesn't make sense to have fireworks when everything is dry as anything and ready to go up just by looking at it. So that's all to say. I hope you enjoy your bonfire night safely and with sparkle. I had lunch out today with some friends who are also a committee of people who are organising an event for next year. It's not till next September, but we're getting on it early with monthly meetings and talking about what needs to be done. And one of the jobs I'm going to be doing is sewing a bunch of tote bags along with one of the other ladies, and also organising the silent auction. I helped with that this year, and I'm going to be sort of heading that part of it up. And I also seem to have managed to volunteer myself to crochet pigs and carrots amigurumi for sale. But we'll see how that turns out. I need to find a good pair of crochet patterns that fit right together for size and for cuteness. So we'll see if that's a thing. It all depends. So after lunch, of course, I was stuffed full with too much faux food, so I was feeling really sleepy. So rather than spend the afternoon on the couch, I thought I better get out for a walk. So I grabbed a hook and some yarn and stuffed it in a little Japanese knot bag so I could put it over my wrist, and I went out for a walk. So the walk was pretty slow because obviously I was looking at my crochet for a lot of the time. I didn't want to trip, but that's okay. I just wanted it to be a fairly slow walk. I was out for a while, and it was full daylight when I left, and it was getting dark when I got home. I had to put the hook away before I got back because it got too dark to see my stitches. But the yarn I was using is this one here. And I didn't buy the yarn like this. It's called, and I'm going to have to look at my notebook for this bit, Universal Yarn Cotton Supreme Sapling. I bought it from my local yarn shop a few years back. In fact, I think it was before COVID. And it was plain white when I bought it. So the purpose for buying white cotton yarn was purely to get dyeing. I bought some Procyon MX dyes, hope I'm saying that right, from a local art shop. And I saw it was a YouTube video, and I can't remember her name now. I think I cancelled my subscription to her YouTube channel because she literally did 5 videos and then nothing for years. And I thought, oh, no point me following her anymore. Can't remember her name. But I used her method for dyeing this yarn, and I used the basics. I think the pink, blue and yellow were the basic colors, and where they blended I got green, purple. It came out really well if you like clown bath. I made one other thing out of this, and I don't remember what I did with it. I think it was a bowl. I crocheted over some of that clothesline rope or something, and I made a bowl. I still have quite a bit of this. So the cake that I grabbed today, I put it in this bag because when you have it like this, it fits really well over your wrist. Your yarn can come out one of the gaps between the handles, and then I started crocheting just some random thing. I did the initial circle just in single crochet, and then when I started working straight without increasing, I started using what's called the waistcoat stitch or split stitch. So instead of going into those top 2 loops of the crochet, you put your hook between the 2 front legs of the stitch. So you're going into a different spot. And the cool thing about it is, as long as you work loose enough and it doesn't get too tight, it kind of looks like a knit stitch. So that's what it looks like close up. And so I was thinking it could be another plant pot cozy or a drawstring bag or something. I don't know. It's tricky. It's a bulky weight cotton, so I feel like it kind of limits you as to what you can make. I certainly don't need any more washcloths, and I don't know if this yarn would be good for that. It's very soft. Certainly not a dishcloth cotton. Feels really nice. So that's what I was doing when I was out walking today. I was crocheting on this. In my last video, I showed you a crocheted ring I had made with some holes in to act as a yarn guide. And when I told my friend that I had made one, she said, perhaps you could make me one. So I did, and I gave it to her today. So hopefully she'll try it out and she'll get on with it. If not, it was just a tiny little piece of crochet with a tiny bit of yarn. So nothing lost by it. I'm feeling pretty tired now, so I don't really know whether to start a new project. I'm tempted to cut a bunch of fabric for those teacup coasters, but I don't know if I feel like starting it because it's kind of a large job. I did manage to get a chiropractor appointment tomorrow, So I'm hoping that'll sort my neck out. So tomorrow will be a chiro appointment around lunchtime, and in the evening I'm picking up a friend's son from the airport. But in between times, I expect I'll get some more crafty stuff done, and I'll make sure to tell you about it tomorrow.
November 7th, I'm in my sewing room doing a production line of 10 more teacup coasters, and the rain is hitting the window, which is quite unusual because I'm quite tucked away in the basement and it's on the north side of the house, so it doesn't usually get the rain on it. How cozy that feels. This is where I'm at so far. A stack of one side of the teacup coasters with their thermalam or batting, the lining, the top contrast pieces, the ribbony pieces for the handles, the things that look like little tea bags, tea bag tags, I suppose, and my template. Just about to start a little bit of quilting.
I'm not sure if you're wonky or not. You might be wonky. The tripod might have wires underneath it, making it not stand straight. Sorry. Yeah, it's a little blustery out there today. The wind seems to be trying to make sure that the maple tree gets rid of all its leaves. And it's grey. I've had quite a few grey days lately, not that I mind. I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that I just felt like sleeping today. I got an appointment with a new chiropractor yesterday. It was just synchronicity. At the time, like a couple of days after I got my pain in my neck, I saw a thing on Facebook for my neighborhood of a new chiropractor who's just moved into the area, and I thought, well, I'll give her a go. Oh man, boy, did she give me the once over or what. I feel like I've gone 10 rounds with Muhammad Ali or somebody. But I'm hoping that the neck and shoulders will improve once the bruising wears off. I said to my husband last night, is there bruising back there? And he said, oh, I can see a bruise. I'm not surprised. There's a lot of deep massage and hammering and rubbing and cracking. I'm going back on Friday for more torture. Hopefully it'll work out in the long run. So yeah, I dragged my carcass down here. I don't normally have to drag my carcass down to my sewing room. Normally skip gaily into here because I'm all motivated. And today it was like, just feel like having a nap. Felt like that a lot lately. But we're going to this potluck tonight, and there's some friends there who we haven't seen in years. They don't live here, they live in another country. And I thought, okay, last minute gift idea. So this coaster here that I made the other day, I just made 10 more in the other Christmas fabrics I've got. Oh, I just love this fabric. It's just got that lovely sort of homespun look. It's not unbleached, but you know, they've dyed it to look like it's natural. You know what I mean? It's a quilt cotton. So I had the snowflake in the green and the dots, and then I had the snowflake in the red and the dots, and then I used I think it's twill tape for the handles. So I used this khaki one for the red and then the white one with the green snowflakes for the green ones. And on the green coasters, I used the snowflake buttons. God, brain, I tell ya, can't word today. And on these ones, I used the hearts, and I really, really like those heart buttons. I think those, if I had to choose between the red and the green, I would definitely prefer the green. No, prefer the red. As I say, can't word today. So initially I was going to make 6, and then I decided to make 10, and in a way I wish I had made more, but these 10 little things, tiny as they are, have a lot of steps. And I think they took at least 4 hours, which to me seems really, really slow. But at least I have 10 finished objects out of it. What I also did for these, so on this one, I was using white felt and some white cotton yarn. And on these ones, I used an off-white or cream because it just went with the fabric better. I'm really pleased I did that. There was only one bit of reverse sewing where I had to get the seam ripper out and unpick one of these because I had sewn it on the wrong way round. You sew them all on the front and then flip them and fold them to sew them down on the back. And yeah, I had sewn it with the wrong side of the fabric to the right side of the coaster instead of right sides together. I don't know. Where is my brain today? I had to follow the video again because I've only made one of them before and I didn't want to mess up. But the results are worth it. I really like how they look. I did revisit the video by the same lady, Chenida Handmade, for the zippered pouch that looks a lot like this. I think she even uses the exact same template. I drew myself up a template, this little tiny thing here. And the zipper pouch, I think, uses the exact same template. Except there's a little bit more faffing and a little bit more fabric because obviously you're making a zippered pouch with a lining. So there's a bit more involved. But it's very cute. So I suggest a visit over to her channel. For this potluck, I made pumpkin donuts again. I was going to make a double layer pumpkin cheesecake. And then I went and looked at the recipe and I thought, oh, I'm missing one of the ingredients. So I had still some of the canned pumpkin left over in the fridge from the last time I made pumpkin donuts. And I made a batch of 8. And this time, rather than just making a sugary topping, I made a cream cheese frosting because I had the cream cheese that I was going to use for the cheesecake. So I just ground up some sugar. Don't like white icing sugar. It feels like the devil's food for some reason because it's so white and so processed. It's like, ooh, I really don't want to eat that. So I take the nice golden organic sugar that I buy from Costco and I powder it up in the Vitamix. And sometimes if I feel like I'm trying to duplicate exactly icing sugar, I'll put some arrowroot into it. Also, I'm not crazy on cornstarch, so I put some arrowroot into it. So it has that same thickening quality. And so it was it was Violife cream cheese, and it was the powdered sugar and a couple of tablespoons of earth balanced butter, and I put a bit of lemon juice in. I'm not sure if you can really taste the lemon juice. I thought it might cut the sweetness a bit, add a little bit extra flavor, but anyway, they look messy, but I think they'll be tasty. And I know there'll be lots of good food at my friend's place because she is such an amazing chef. I have to call her a chef, really, because she does the market in her city every summer, and she's just incredible how inventive she is and how healthy her food is and how beautiful it is. Like if she makes a cake, it has a beautiful arrangement of fruit on the top, and it just looks like a work of art. So I know we're going to eat well today. So I'll stop there for now, because I probably should go upstairs and get changed, because we have an hour of driving to get there. Talk later. I'm out walking, and I thought I'd just scan the hills across the valley. I don't know if you can see, but there's lots of brown areas where the trees burned back in August. This mountain range is just a really small part of the fire that burnt back then, and it goes right to the lake and left a long way. It was quite the blaze. I'm completely overdressed today. I put on my black winter coat and a cowl, and I am cooking in it. I could have just walked in a t-shirt today. The sun is so warm. I brought my little baggie of walking crochet as well, so I'm adding to that while I walk. There's a lot of construction in my neighbourhood at the moment. I'm sure everyone's trying to get as much done before the snow flies, which has got to be sometime in the next couple of weeks. Hello, dog. There's a couple of dogs that live in this yard to my left, and one of them is very fierce sometimes and scares the heck out of me. Maybe it's not there today, because I saw one, but it was the quiet one. There are people playing tennis in November in the sunshine. Just goes to show it's really mild. I'm not sure if there's a cut-off date for closing the courts, but maybe when it gets covered in snow, that's when they finally lock the doors. This crochet is super slow, partly because I'm looking down all the time or forwards to make sure I'm not about to trip on anything. But the waistcoat stitch, where you're putting your hook into the middle of the single crochet, I always forget that I have to make my stitches really loose, or it's a real battle to get the hook in. Anywho, time to get home and have a cup of tea, do some yoga, and then I can sew this afternoon, or knit or crochet, guilt-free. While I'm having my cup of tea, I have to confess to having scoffed a couple of bags of these. And another bag of these. My friend from Taiwan brought me 2 big bags of these things, and the ingredients aren't in English, so I don't know what's in them. But I'm guessing mostly salt and MSG. But they're very tasty and addictive, hence the salt and MSG suspicion. Suppose I better leave some for the rest of the family. I made a little arrangement on my coffee table. Put the table runner on there, the full one, and some candles, and walnuts and fir cones, and a few other of my favourite bits and pieces. As my knit night tonight, we're having a candlelit start to the group. I decided we would start out with a quiet candlelit sharing. And then we can turn the lights on and get our yarn out. Well, I did my walk and I did my yoga and had my cup of tea and my terribly unhealthy snacks earlier and freshened up the bathroom because I've got friends coming tonight. And so I treated myself to about an hour on the couch with my crochet. I have done a few extra rows on my Festoon shawl. And, oops, I was hoping that was going to stick behind my ear. Complete change of subject there, but my father-in-law was a builder before he retired. And he used to have this little stubby piece of pencil tucked behind his ear when he was at home. He used to just forget it was there. My kids thought that was hilarious when they saw that. Okay, let me see if I can pick this up and show it to you without unraveling my work, because the little baubles or popcorns are really cute. Let's try that again. Okay, I'm going to try and show you these popcorns without making a mess of my crochet. There we go. It's not going in focus, is it? But basically what I'm doing is from the back of the work, I am doing slip stitch in the back loop only and then a popcorn. And so the other side of it looks like this. And then because you're doing the popcorns on the wrong side, they are pushed to the front. And because the yarn is variegated that I'm doing the popcorns with, they're going to be different colors across the row. Try it again. So what you do with the second half of that, once you've done your contrast popcorn row, you then go back and do a regular row in the front loops. Yeah. And so you're basically doing row 14 twice. So it's fun to be on the popcorn row, but oh man, it's fiddly stuff. Right, it's a skinny yarn, it's a skinny hook. And that's not one of my favorite things to work with. But I'm persevering. All my young men are home, and my husband's on his way, so I should probably get the kettle on. We can get a green tea when he's home. And I'll pop this up on the interwebs tonight. And before I sign off, I'll just say things. I just usually forget to say all this, so I'll say it now. I do have a blog at nicolaknits.com, which has been going for like between 10 and 15 years, I think. I have no idea how long I've been doing that. And I'm nicolaknits on Ravelry. And I don't have any other things on the internet called Stitches and Slapdashery. I'm considering getting an Instagram account with that name or changing. Can you even change an Instagram account to a different name? Something I'm going to check, because if it is, I will change my Instagram to Stitches and Slapdashery. And if you want to go look at my projects on Ravelry, of which there are over 800 since Ravelry started, I'm nicolaknits on there as well. And I'm kind of chatty on there too, because I like to hang around the forums and answer people's questions a lot. I'm in there multiple times a day usually. When people sometimes say, oh, I logged out of Ravelry and I can't log in because I can't remember my password. I'm like, logging out of Ravelry? Is that even something people do? That was a wobbly end to today's video, wasn't it? I know my arm can't keep still. It's holding you at arm's length. So yeah, I'm going to wind things up now. As I said, I've got company tonight, so best to get things done ahead of time. So I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.